Brad Williams, Excel Prime. How to use Excel Scenario Manager. Well, this is another what if scenario. What we're asking is, what's the best case, worst case, what's the most likely case of a scenario? It's up to you to build the scenario. This is a very simple, straightforward, hypothetical bike seat manufacturing cost. What we're doing is manufacturing possibly one of three different types of bike seats. Why bike seats? Well, it's because the first thing I came up with. It means nothing. It could be coffee. It could be computer parts. It could be windows. Who knows? It's up to you to determine that. Here's the scenario. We have an hourly labor cost of $17, material cost of 15, and then the breakdown. We have hours per seat. Here's seat A, seat B, seat C. We have 13 hours per seat, 15 hours, 17 hours, material cost per seat, and then cost to produce. Sales price, $7.95, $12.95, and these numbers are just whatever you decide to put in there. And then unit profit, your sales price minus costs, and you just create a number, unit profit, your projected number of seats produced. And again, it's based on your experience, based on industry averages, based on hypotheticals. And here we have total profit of $56,935. We have this chart. You build the chart yourself and you build the scenario. And the question is, well, so what? I have this scenario. Does it mean anything? Well, here we're looking at this output. Does it really give you much information? Well, we can dig a little deeper and we can use some of the tools within Excel. And the next tool would be this scenario manager. Let's just take a look at the scenario manager. We're going to go to choose data. We're going to go to data, to what if, and then we're going to go to scenario manager. And there you're going to get this box. Well, we're going to build off of the current model. The scenario manager is already set up, but I'm going to walk you through exactly what I did. I showed you the previous example, and it showed this blank box. We want to add a new scenario. We're going to hit add. In this case, I'm just going to hit edit. When you hit add, all you're going to do is put best case. This box is going to show up, and you just type best case. What are the changing cells? Hypothetical here is, what if hours per seat, in other words, our labor costs, what if they change? And that's what this edit scenario does. In the best case scenario, we know B4 and 5 are going to change. That's all you have to do. Hit OK. What's the labor cost? This is the best case scenario. You're saying C is the best case scenario. So you're going to put the numbers here, 17 and 15. Well, that's the best case. What's the most likely case? Go back in and you're going to hit add. There, you're going to say, type in most likely. And the B4, B5 is going to be that's constant. And you're going to hit OK, and then you're going to change the number to 1512. Worst case, you're going to go to add, hit B4, B5, 136. So you can see I have to go back, change this most likely, edit, OK, where it says 1715, it should say 1512. 1512. Here we have just a hypothetical scenario. We can add more, or we can delete, or we can edit, we can merge. We're not going to get into merge. And then we can get a summary. If we pick a best case scenario and we hit summary, let's do this. Instead of hitting summary, let's hit show. What it did is it shows the best case scenario. Go to most likely, hit show, and it shows the most likely. If you go to worst case, you hit show, and it shows the worst case. So go to best case, show, 25,215, 56,000 profit, most likely. Show, 60,000, and then worst case, show, 66. Now, why is this fitting this out? It's probably because this output here, that's a scenario manager. Whether it's accurate or not, it's just a hypothetical. In terms of output, can we summarize this somehow? Certainly. We can go to summary. Here you have two different reports. You have a scenario summary and a pivot table. Well, you're familiar with pivot tables. The scenario summary, in order to get output, you need to put the result cells. And what you have to do is grab this profit, highlight this range, just grab this 17 through 28, and then hold down your control key and go 66,520. Hit OK. There is a scenario printout. You can change the color here. Since we're sticking with green, let's just go with green. Here's the outcome. It shows you the current values, and then the best case, the most likely, and the worst case. Why is it all backwards? It's probably because the person inputting, me, just put this thing together quickly, and I probably have the numbers backwards, but that's not the point. The point is, this is how you build a scenario, and this is probably the worst case, and this is probably the best case. If you want a pivot table, go back in to sheet 3. We'll get rid of sheet 14, delete. We're gonna go to data, what if, go back to scenario manager. Here we want summary. And if we want a pivot table, we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna highlight B5 to D15, hold down the control key, hit the profit, and hit OK. There is a pivot table, unformatted, but you know how to change all of this. Go in, and if you want to put profit for best case, or this is the current case, and best case, worst case, or most likely and worst case. And then if you want to change the appearance, you can do that. You can go up here to pivot table, play around here. You can go to design. You can change this stuff. I just want to point out the different features within this best case, worst case scenario. That's just another tool within Excel's arsenal. Whether it's something you'd use, experiment, play around with it, and see if it works. It really is based off of the scenario you build and the data. And in terms of this chart, all I did was I grabbed this information right here and then insert charts. That's all I did. I just grabbed this information, and you can format this after the case. You can change this if you want a pie chart or what have you. But that's a scenario manager with some added bells and whistles. Brad Williams, Excel Prime.